Margaret had been eating the same lunch for 20 years. Vegetable soup, a slice of whole grain bread, a small cup of yogurt. She made it every day at noon. She liked the routine. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, she had to leave a birthday lunch early. Not because of anything dramatic. Not because she was sick. She had to leave because she was so bloated she couldn't sit upright comfortably in her chair. Her stomach felt like something was pressing against it from the inside. She was tired. She felt vaguely nauseous. And she had no idea why. Stomach. No drama. Just quiet discomfort. She assumed it was the bread, so she gave up bread. The bloating came back. She assumed it was the yogurt, the dairy. So she gave up yogurt. Still there. She went to her doctor. He ran blood tests. Everything came back normal. He looked at her chart, looked back at her, and said, "It's just part of getting older." Margaret drove home and sat in her car in the driveway for a while. She was 63 years old. She was not ready to accept that feeling like this, every single day, was just something she had to live with now. And she was right not to accept it, because what her doctor told her was not the whole truth. Not because he was a bad doctor, because this is not something most doctors learn in medical school. What was actually happening inside Margaret's body had a name, a clear biological cause, and this is the part that matters, a real solution. I'm going to show you all three today. But here is what I need you to understand first, because without this piece, nothing else will make sense. And I don't want you to finish this video without actually understanding what your body has been trying to tell you. Living, teeming, non-clinical, almost beautiful. Right now, inside your digestive system, there are approximately 38 trillion microorganisms. Bacteria, mostly, hundreds of different species. They form what scientists call the gut microbiome. And researchers have started calling it the hidden organ, because it does things your stomach and intestines simply cannot do alone. It breaks down foods your own body can't process. It produces certain B vitamins and vitamin K. It trains and regulates your immune system. It communicates directly with your brain through a pathway scientists call the gut-brain axis. It even influences your mood, your energy levels, and your body's ability to manage inflammation. When this ecosystem is healthy and diverse, hundreds of species working in balance, your digestion runs smoothly, your energy is steady, you feel like yourself. But here is what happens after 60. Multiple studies published in leading scientific journals, including Frontiers in Aging and the American Society for Microbiology, have confirmed the same finding over and over. As we age, the diversity of our gut microbiome declines, the balance shifts. Beneficial bacteria, particularly a group called Bifidobacterium and Lactobacillus, decrease significantly. These are the bacteria that keep your gut lining healthy, control inflammation, and help food move through your system efficiently. At the same time, other bacterial species, less beneficial ones associated with inflammation, can quietly increase in their place. Scientists call this imbalance dysbiosis. And here is the direct connection to Margaret and to you. Dysbiosis, not the food you ate, is the most common biological driver of persistent, chronic bloating in adults over 60. Not the bread, not the dairy, not eating too fast. Margaret's gut ecosystem had quietly shifted. Her body had changed, and nobody had told her that was happening. Now, this raises the question that stopped Margaret cold when she first heard it, and it might stop you too. If it's not about the food, why is this happening, and can it actually be reversed? I'm going to answer both of those questions, and the second answer is the one that changes everything. But first, I need to show you the 4 specific things driving this shift, because one of them is going to surprise you. Hands preparing food. Calm, warm, unhurried. The first is something called reduced gut motility. Your digestive system moves food through your body using wave-like muscle contractions. a slow, rhythmic conveyor belt. In younger adults, this process has a healthy, regular pace, but as we age, research shows the nerve signals and muscle activity controlling this movement slow down. The transit time, the time it takes food to travel through your system, can increase from the normal range of 24 to 36 hours in younger adults to as long as 48 to 72 hours in older adults. Think about what that means. Food that used to move through in a day and a half is now sitting inside you for up to 3 days. When food moves more slowly, it ferments longer. Fermentation produces gas. Gas causes bloating. This is not you imagining it. This is your biology. The second is a natural decline in digestive enzymes. Your body produces enzymes to break down specific foods, lipase for fat, lactase for dairy, others for proteins and carbohydrates. These enzyme levels can decline as we get older. This is why foods you've eaten comfortably your entire life, yogurt, a glass of milk, whole grain bread, may suddenly cause gas and bloating in your 60s that they never caused before. Margaret eliminated both of those foods and still felt terrible, because the food was never the enemy. Her body's ability to process certain compounds had changed. The third driver is one almost nobody talks about, and it involves medication, not alarming. Just familiar if you take a proton pump inhibitor, a PPI, for acid reflux or heartburn, or if you've had multiple rounds of antibiotics over the years. The science is clear on what those medications do to your gut. PPIs reduce stomach acid. Stomach acid plays a critical role in keeping bacteria from overgrowing in the wrong part of your digestive system. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have linked regular PPI use to a condition called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, which causes exactly the kind of persistent, unexplained bloating that Margaret and so many people over 60 experience daily. Antibiotics can cause a similar disruption. They don't discriminate. They clear out harmful bacteria and beneficial bacteria along with them. Repeated courses over the years can permanently alter the balance of your gut microbiome. I want to be very clear about something. I am not telling you to stop any medication. Your doctor prescribed it for a reason, and that reason matters. What I am telling you is that there is a documented biological mechanism here, and if you've been bloated for months and nobody has connected those dots for you, that conversation with your doctor is worth having. The fourth driver is what brings everything together, and this is the one that explains why so many people over 60 feel generally unwell, even when every test comes back normal. Scientists have coined a term, inflammaging. It's a combination of inflammation and aging. As beneficial gut bacteria decline and the gut lining gradually becomes more permeable, substances from inside your intestines can pass into your bloodstream, triggering a low-grade, chronic immune response throughout the entire body. Not the sharp inflammation of a sprained ankle. You can't feel this directly. It's quiet, it's slow, it runs in the background. But research has linked it to joint pain, to fatigue, to brain fog, to poor sleep, to higher risk of metabolic conditions. Margaret's bloating was not just a digestive inconvenience. It was her gut sending a signal that her inner ecosystem had been under stress for a long time and needed help. Now, here is where Margaret's story changes. Because when she understood what was actually happening and made 3 specific changes, the bloating she had lived with for almost 2 years was mostly gone within 6 weeks. And I need to tell you about a study that played a key role in what she learned. Because the results of this study, when they were published, genuinely surprised the scientists who ran it. Kimchi, colourful vegetables, inviting, not clinica. In 2021, researchers at Stanford University published a clinical trial in the journal Cell, one of the most respected scientific publications in the world. 36 healthy adults randomly assigned to to one of two diets, 10 weeks. Half of them ate a diet rich in fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha. The other half ate a high-fiber diet, legumes, seeds, whole grains, vegetables, fruits. At the end of 10 weeks, the researchers measured changes in the gut microbiome and in immune markers in the blood. The fermented food group showed a measurable increase in gut microbiome diversity. More species, better balance. A gut that looked, on the data, measurably younger. They also showed a decrease in 19 specific inflammatory proteins circulating in their blood. One of those proteins, interleukin-6, has been directly linked to rheumatoid arthritis, type 2 diabetes, and chronic stress. 19 proteins reduced from eating fermented food. The high-fiber group, on average, none of those 19 proteins decreased. The lead researcher, Dr. Justin Sonnenberg, a professor of microbiology and immunology at Stanford, looked at those results and said publicly on the Stanford Medicine's website, "This is a stunning finding." That word, stunning, from a Stanford researcher in a peer-reviewed paper. That is not hyperbole. That is a scientist who was surprised by what his own study found. Margaret started with one small change. A half cup of plain yogurt with live cultures at breakfast. A tablespoon of sauerkraut alongside her dinner. That's it. Week 1. One thing to check on the label. The words contains live and active cultures. Fermented foods that have been pasteurized after fermentation no longer contain living bacteria. Those words on the label matter. Check for them. Beneficial gut bacteria don't just reappear. They need to be fed. Their preferred food is called prebiotic fiber, a specific type of plant fiber that your own digestive system cannot break down, but your gut bacteria can. It's essentially food for the good bacteria you're trying to restore. The best sources are garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, slightly underripe bananas, and oats. These foods contain a compound called inulin, which selectively feeds beneficial bacteria and encourages them to produce something called butyrate, a compound that actively repairs and strengthens the cells lining your gut wall. One important caution: if you're not used to eating much fiber, add it slowly. A gut that has lost microbial diversity can temporarily produce more gas when fiber is introduced too quickly. Start small. Give your gut 2 to 3 weeks to adjust. This is not a sprint. By week 3, Margaret added one more thing. A 10-minute walk after dinner. Light fades, unhurried, comfortable shoes. Smuzzle smile. This is the one that surprises people. It sounds too simple. It is not. Multiple studies confirm that a gentle 10 to 15-minute walk after eating measurably speeds up gastric emptying. Food moves more efficiently through your digestive system and significantly reduces post-meal bloating and gas. The mechanism is direct. Gentle movement stimulates the muscular contractions of the digestive tract. It gives your slowed motility a gentle, natural assist. No gym, no equipment, no cost, 0 side effects. And research comparing active and sedentary older adults of the same age has found that the gut microbiome of regularly active seniors is measurably more diverse, more like the gut of a younger person, than those of sedentary people of exactly the same age. Movement is medicine for your microbiome. That was Margaret's 3-part foundation. 1 serving of fermented food daily, slowly adding prebiotic fiber, a 10-minute walk after dinner, no expensive supplements, no elimination diets, no long list of foods she could never eat again. By week 6, she went back to her regular lunch, vegetable soup, whole-grained bread, a small cup of yogurt. She finished the whole thing. She felt fine. Let's bring this home. Your bloating after 60 is not about what you ate for dinner. It is about 4 biological shifts that happen inside your gut as you age. A change: gut bacteria, slower motility, declining digestive enzymes, and the quiet inflammation those changes can trigger throughout your body. None of this means your body is broken. It means your body is a living system that has been changing, and up until today, nobody gave you the full picture of what those changes were, or what you could actually do about them. Now you have it. Centenarians, people who live past 100, in populations all around the world, consistently have gut microbiomes that are measurably more diverse than the average person their age. Not because of genetics, because of daily habits, repeated over time, small things, consistent things. Things like one serving of yogurt, a handful of oats, a walk around the block. You can start those habits today, not next Monday, not after you finish the groceries. Today, your body, at 60, at 70, at 80, still responds. The research on gut microbiome recovery in older adults is genuinely one of the most hopeful areas of modern health science. The gut can shift, the inflammation can decrease, the diversity can return. Margaret knew that, and she was right. If this video gave you something today, a piece of information you've been missing, an answer you've been looking for, please share it with someone you love who has been living with this. You might be the reason they finally understand what has been happening to them. And before you go, I have to tell you something. Everything we covered today, the gut microbiome, the bacteria, the inflammation, this doesn't just affect your digestion. It connects to something that I think most people over 60 are far more concerned about: your memory. Your gut and your brain are connected by a direct two-way communication system, a living biological highway that scientists are only now beginning to fully map. What is happening inside your gut at this moment is directly influencing what is happening inside your brain. Your ability to think clearly, your mood when you wake up, the sharpness you either feel or don't feel in the morning. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how that connection works and what the emerging science says you can do about your memory and cognitive health after 6-0. It's one of the most important things I've put together for this channel, and I don't want you to miss it. Subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified the moment it's up. I'll see you there.